So the problem was originally that it wouldn't run over like 3/4 throttle, half to 3/4 throttle, and that equates to what, 25 miles per hour. Over that, it would just cut out until you got it back down to lower RPMs, and aka lower speeds. Then it would just run again. Kind of hard starting. I ended up finding out that that was a bad spark plug wire. Crack in it, and it was arcing on the frame. So simple enough. Change that. It actually is the same as the repair manual says 8,500 ohms resistance on the spark plug wire. There's no continuity in the one that was in it that was cracked and broken, but an LS 5.3 ignition spark plug wire plugs right in, fits right up, and it works. This thing runs now and it revs up all the way. Another problem is that it wouldn't really idle well at all. Actually, here, hold on. This is probably unrelated, but I wanted to show you guys that this thing can run without the idle air control valve. These are a mass airflow system. It has a mass airflow sensor up top, a throttle position sensor, and a idle air control valve. That machine didn't come with it from the guy I'm fixing it for. I imagine he took it off because there's just a loose connector here that goes to nothing. I was worried that the throttle position sensor was going out, and that's why I was cutting out at higher RPM and higher and more throttle, higher throttle. At almost full throttle, it basically would cut out. I tested the TPS sensor. If you can find the manual on this thing, which you can online for free, it'll walk you through on how to test it in the voltage range and how it's supposed to what it's supposed to look like on its output. It's like 0.1 volts to 4.9 volts is what this tested out as with a 5-volt input. So that was a problem, and then I couldn't get the screen to turn on, and I couldn't get the fuel pump to fire, and there's a few things like that. And every fuse in this box was bad. The fuse box. They all were corroded on the inside. They're all original. They're all corroded on the inside from water. Well, I assume all of them, but the main one. Let me see if I can open this here. The main system, whatever you call it, to power the main relay, aka like everything else, that was one of these 10 amp ones. I think this 10 amp. One of these 10 amps ones is the main. It is. I don't know, one of these. Probably the back one. Yeah, the back one, since I fucked up this wire. This wire's fucked up. Yeah, we'll run without the idle air control valve. That's what this whole video is about. What am I fucking... Oh. Just because I'm in fucking gear still. Alright, I'm in park now. The machine will, well, how I got it. The machine will run. You can drive it around, whatever. It's not gonna. It sticks at high idle. It will not Yeah, it's not going to idle down and control its throttle. There is an adjustment screw. You can turn the idle air screw up or down. The manual advises against it, but I imagine this has been messed with before, and that's why it'll idle. It's because that's turned in so far. Other than that, the electrical in this thing is pretty simple. This one does have an OBD2 port. I tried my universal scanner on it, OBD-MX Plus. It didn't communicate. So, what other notes do I want to make on this? I had a problem with getting all these relays in here. The fuel pump relay was bad. It's a single pole, single throw. Double pole, single throw relay. And it single pole, double throw relay that the fuel pump relay was bad, or had a bad. Yeah, it was bad. I swapped it with the high beams relay, and then it worked just fine. So to fix that, or I bought some there for $10 off Amazon. Speaking of, let me show you that part number. So I just bought a cheap kit of fuses for $10. It takes those guys, the small ones, the mini type, whatever they're called. I also went through with these relay pliers and went through the contacts, and these are like a diamond grit sandpaper on the end. I went through and I cleaned up all the terminals in the relay box here. It does bend them out. It's too wide of a tool, but I just went back in there with a pick and bent them all back to make good contact. That seemed, because this thing is very corroded. Every connection that is open, like the underside of this, the relay box here, it's all corroded. The backside of these wires, they're not as bad, but they're corroded. These relays, the leads are corroding right off of them. Whatever. I lost this piece. Yeah. And when you start it up, the fuel pump will run for 5 seconds and then turn off.